You're. Why people say that? That's insane. But anyway. So, welcome to another episode of Landell's Pod. Here with your host, Landell. Say hi to the people, Landell. How y'all doing? What's going on? I'm Landell Demas of Landell's Pod. Good to hear from all right, I'm being childish. But anyway, up kind of early, thinking of some thoughts, right? And this one can be good. Like a lot of times, like my podcast just be coming from like random ass thoughts, right? Random thoughts. And then I be probably traveling. I be on my Derrick Jackson. I be in the car or something, sitting in the car, making my little audio video, whatever I'm doing, so you hear all that jazz in the background. And truth of the matter is, life was happening, for lack of better words, because life happens to all of us, right? But life was happening over the last year or so, right? So it's like I didn't have many opportunities to sit and shit, especially not write out too much and kind of organize a set, on with the podcast and things of that nature, right? So this one, although I'm kind of like just winging it right now, I think it'll be a little bit more appreciated just because I'm in the comfort of my own home. I'm not, you can't hear nothing in the background, you know what I'm saying? The road, me in the car and all that jazz, whatever else, nobody usually calls me around this time. Sometimes I get to doing a podcast and somebody call me, you know what I mean? But anyway, here nor there. All that to say, kind of waking up and thinking of some thoughts, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I seen a video and it was saying something about right, you take it with a grain of salt, whether it's true or not, right? Like I say, I ain't here to do the research on a lot of things for y'all. I'm just here to provide and, throw out a perspective or two, an opinion or three or whatever, right? You know what I mean? So on some of the stuff, you know what I mean? I ain't saying I'm fact checking every fucking thing to the nitty gritty, right? That's not the case. I'm not saying so. You do your research. But I seen a video and it was saying something about how women, how women always got their little group of friends, they got a group of ladies that they can talk to and go cry to and tell all kind of stuff like that. They was in some kind of way, with that, with them doing that, it kind of helps them live longer. It kind of helps them live longer type thing. So with that being said, and it was a lady who was saying it, and she was saying how, maybe that's something that men should do, right? And I'm thinking of the reasons why men don't have that camaraderie, so to speak, amongst one another, right? Because I don't know, you sometimes you can have a falling out. Not that I think men are as fickle, and I'm talking from my perspective, right? I can only talk from my perspective, because to somebody or her or him or them or they over there, right? Men could be as fickle as whatever, men could really be nah, I told a man one time, his shoes was ugly and he damn near broke my jaw or whatever. You know what I mean? He just about had a whole meltdown or whatever, because I just told him them didn't look like real Jordans, or I had never seen them Jordans before or something, right? So, but I talk from a perspective of, like, I tell people, I don't know a lot of crappy dudes. I really don't. I feel like I'm a decent dude, and low key, I think word on the street are probably, and I ain't gonna say word on the street, I wouldn't say that, but somebody might go on wax. I'm pretty sure there's a few of my friends that might think I'm the crappiest friend that they got. And that ain't like, right? That ain't like, oh, I'm holding you, like, if you need a favor, right? Call Curtis, call Buki, whatever, and he got you, like, or if you loan me some money, I'm not gonna pay you back, or if you in a jam, I'm never gonna come through for you. Not that type of friendship. I think I got all that on lock, but I think it's more of a, like, just what some of my friends perceive me, how they perceive me, right? How they perceive me to be. You know what I mean? I'm going to just leave it at that right now, because that's a whole different topic. So, and it's really like when it comes to women, right? Because that's what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I got mostly married. I got a lot of, like, friends that are married, or they in long-term relationship type shit, right? So if you got a single friend and he do his due, or he whatever he known for this, or he didn't, he get busy, he ain't no stranger to the danger or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, so it's almost kind of like an opportunity for them in that sense to kind of look down, like, oh, you be out here with that single stuff, you be wilding, you be in the clubs, right? You do your DJ thing, you meet these women, and then, most of the time it ain't serious. You get where I'm going, right? So, yeah. But, so anyway, going back to the main point, they were saying, like, why men, can't kind of have that camaraderie or whatever. It might help them live longer. But they were saying, like, women having that type of camaraderie amongst other women and stuff like that, it helps them kind of live longer. And I guess I just kind of want to think on and maybe share some of the ways that, like, I think, why men might not have that, right, amongst each other. Now I got a few different friends, and I think men, sometimes you categorize your friends. You can categorize your friends. I don't know if females do this or not. They probably do. You got they going out friends. Okay, now this my friend that I'm going, what I'm saying? This my friend that I'm going, I'm going to talk to her about my relationship problem friend. You know what I mean? Oh, this the friend that when I'm ready to go traveling, we going to go traveling, right? This my friend that, close family friend, grew up, we got the same interests or whatever. So, when I go get my nails done, I holler at her or whatever. I don't know, whatever. Girl stuff. Girl power. Whatever. But, so with dudes, it's like that too, right? You got a couple friends, like I know when I get ready to go out, hit the set, it's certain partners. You, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? Like, we out? What's up? We lit tonight? We getting out tonight? What's the vibes? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? So it's that type of thing. So you got your going out friends, obviously, right? A couple friends that I can talk to about business, right? A couple friends I might can, bump a couple ideas off of, or, A couple friends that I can, and then I think you got well-rounded friends too. You know what I mean? You got well-rounded friends where you might can talk to them about like, a little bit about business, talk to them a little about the bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Rather it be, women's sports or whatever, right? You know what I mean? They might be a little bit more balanced. And in my opinion, that's probably that could be somebody you've known for a short period of time. That could be somebody that you've known for a long time. For me, that's probably one of my relatives, which I label him as my guy. You know what I'm saying? But that's probably Andre. You know what I mean? So y'all know him. But like I say, he's my cousin, grew up with him, but it's like still to this day, that's the homie. So it's like I talk to him about business, I talk to him about relationship stuff. I can have and I think it's a percentage. It's a percentage amongst friends, right? Like it's a percentage where it's like, okay, 5% business I can discuss with this person. 50% or 40%, 45% going out, partying and clubbing and screwing on the ladies, right? Screwing around with the ladies, right? You can talk about that. Another 30% is sports or something like that. And then you got the other percentage can be broken down into, like I'm vulnerable as a man. You just, because as men we go through things, right? And I'm coming around and getting to the main question that I have, and I do want to know, like, so if y'all listening, wherever y'all listening from, whether it be Spotify, Apple, or the Anchor app, whatever it is, right? Wherever y'all listening from, feel free to write it down, or because I'm gonna ask the question. So feel free to comment or whatever, what y'all think. But like I say, I think amongst friends, it's not always I think it's certain percentages, and amongst the homies, the question is, can you be vulnerable with the homies, right? Like how many homies do you think, cause they say you see those videos about how men, the life of a man is to just, do this, go through life, be that to this person and blah, 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 blah. And you're not appreciated until you're gone, right? Like that's what the life of a man is, to be a man. They got a rapper by the name of Dax or whatever. He got some real thought-provoking songs. I feel like, check him out. It's called his name is Dax, and it's DAX. Like he always do like a very thought-provoking ass like song. He make that type of, that's like his vibe. Like, he'll do a song about alcoholism. Like legit alcoholism. Not like just like alcohol, let's get fucked up and drink and hit the club. Not that shit, but like legit, like, he'll come from a perspective of him being alcohol. And then he'll do the next verse from his perspective, him seeing the alcohol. Like, I need you, baby, blah, 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 some shit. In a way. But it's dope though. Joyner Lucas do that same thing too, with especially early Joyner Lucas before like the Fame type shit. But like I say, that's kind of the narrative with some men. You know what I mean? Like about men, like shit. Who do they talk to? If it ain't this sense of camaraderie like that. And like I say, camaraderie is cool, right? Like we can get together and talk about the NFL playoffs. We can get together and talk about basketball. We can get together and talk about, video games, business, women, whatever it is, right? But when it comes to like what's really going on with you, bro, like what's really good, like what's really something, that's bothering you, right? it might be something spiritual or that you're going through dealing with. It might be something like, like I say. And I think for me as a friend, and I want everybody who kind of listening to this, right? Especially if you know me personally type shit. I want to have that floor. I want to have that floor open. I want to have that open door policy, so to speak, right? I want to have that open door policy for my friends and my loved ones, for sure, right? Like, cause you don't really expect a stranger to just walk up to you and just, oh my God, I lost my kid. You got some people who dramatic like that or whatever, and they just spring that shit on anybody. You know what I mean? But as far as me, like, I'm a man. Like, I be in certain situations where it's like, I might want to talk to somebody about something serious that I can kind of be like, they'll give them some insight. Now, it ain't about giving them insight, but it's a touchy, situational topic. It's vulnerable, right? It requires you to kind of listen and just kind of not be judgmental of the whole moment in that situation, right? But if I feel like they got something else, I might ask them, hey, what's going on with you today? What you got going? And if I feel like they busy or, well, depending on their vibe and what I feel like they got going on over there, I might not spring it on them. You know what I mean? I might not lead with that. I might just, okay, I ain't want shit. I just was hollering at you. You know what I mean? I just was checking on you. Ain't nothing. And I deal with my whatever that was that I, may have wanted to, try to talk to that person about or get something off my chest because they got something going on, which we all do, right? But because they say, hey, look, I'm like this or this is what I got going on, it's like, well, it's probably not the best time. So shit, I'm like, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'll deal with my, my woes, trial, whatever. I'll deal with it internally by myself, which I'm not a stranger to, which is I feel like normal for most men, right? And I think the biggest thing for men is really them being able to be vulnerable. Just like on one side, I feel like with the men and the women, the big war that's going on. Nah, but like, please let's not go there. But when they talk about with the women, it's hard for them to take accountability. Rather you believe that or not, rather it's true or not, whatever. But with the men, I feel like vulnerable is something that's hard for them to do. Not because they're incapable of doing it, right? But who in the world wants to be vulnerable? Open yourself up. Like, for one, check this. For one, it's crazy for me because, like, I can't speak for everybody, right? But I'm a person who looking at it like, well, shit. I remember I told a female once, 99% of the relationships that you enter into don't work. And then, like, she had like some snap rebuttal, some like smart rebuttal or something like that. Like, well, that means you'd had to been in 99 relationships at least, or whatever, like 99 full-on relationships with a person and none of them worked, or whatever, and then you found your person, or and I'm like, all right, like, are you single? Like, I don't know if she was single or not. I don't remember it like that, but that was just one of the things I say, like, yo, like, I thought, rather that's dumb or smart, like, that was just something that I was thinking along those lines. That was my mindset at the time, in a way. So it was like, 99% of the relationships, but like I say, 99%, I can say that now. Rather I've been in 99 relationships or not. What I'm saying is, the point is, all of the relationships that I've been in been in or partaken in, right, up until this point, they have not worked. They have not worked. Right? They ain't worked. So, that's why I say that. So me having that mindset is like, okay, well, first of all, damn, I'm gonna be vulnerable, like, and going into it is thinking bad, like you thinking bad anyway if you're going into it like that. But like I say, so if you operate with that type of mindset, like most relationships ain't gonna work, right? Rather it's 50% in marriage, whatever the statistics are. But it's a good chance that y'all might not be together until y'all die, right? So what all do I really want to tell this person, kind of thing, right? Do I want to tell her that, you know what I'm saying, I'm the one who pulled off do I want to tell her that I'm the one that shot Osama bin Laden, pulled the trigger? I'm the one that was behind the trigger? Do I want to tell her that, I seen I'm familiar with the aliens and the UFO, whatever, you get what I'm saying, like, and I'm not the one that pulled the trigger, by the way. I'm not the one that killed bin Laden or whoever, or Saddam Hussein, whatever, or, and I have not had contact with the UFOs and the aliens, at least to my knowledge. But, so it's like knowing, so that's first of all, like, oh shit, well, we probably ain't gonna die together. So do I want to tell her everything, right? How vulnerable do I want to be? You know what I mean? And that's a time thing. That's a time sensitive thing. So it's like, you ain't getting with a person and then the first 2 weeks, you like, oh shit, you didn't told them everything and da-da-da-da-da, so forth and so on. Like, I don't think that's the world we live in, right? You know what I mean? Like, trust is a thing, but geez Louise, like, right? It's some sense of you don't want to run people off or whatever, for whatever your reasoning is. But I just think of that, like, so that's one thing. And, like I say, the next reason with that vulnerability is, hey, you tell somebody something and it's supposed to be between you and them. And next thing you know, you see it all the time on Facebook. You used to. Like I say, I think I'm far removed from them type of people and that type of atmosphere. My algorithm is a little bit more, I would say, toxic now, probably, with the whole sex war or whatever you call this shit, men versus women shit, So I think it's a little bit worse now, like, opposed to, the people that you just went to school with. You'll see them hop online every now and then and they'll post something. Hey, this boy had dildos in the bed. I heard that. Somebody told me that one time. I didn't see the actual post, but somebody said that. That's all I'm saying. They was like, yeah, he liked dildos up in the bedroom and not just for me type thing. I'm going to leave it at that. So the man was like, look at me spilling the tea. So the man was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, the girl, she posted it, obviously, right? And the dude was on some in the bedroom with the dildos, and it wasn't just for her. So he had a purpose for them dildos, That's crazy. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. So, but so if you tied to them people, and that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, right? And I wouldn't have no fucking story like that for sure. Some of my darkest stories, nobody wants. I think dark stories, embarrassing stories, and the vulnerability that I'm talking about is different. So I'm more so talking about, not stuff like that. So I don't think that's much of a vulnerable moment. But a vulnerable moment to me would be something like, hey, what's something that people can kind of be vulnerable about? Men, right? You got to think like that. Think in terms of that. They might not feel as confident because of the size of they private part, right? Or they might feel less confident in talking to women or something because how much money they make or the job that they work. You know what I mean? Or they might have they might have a peg leg or something. So, you know what I mean? So whatever, or some type of condition, right? And those could be, that can be perceived as a smaller, I guess, vulnerability maybe to some, but, for the people who really dealing with that kind of stuff, I'm sure it's serious. But, like I say, so you don't want to tell somebody, right? You don't want to have that conversation with a person and you opened up. You was like, okay, I'm going to open up to this person, talk to him, tell them this. Well, what's bothering you? And then you get on a deeper level sometime where it's like psychologically, this person is fucked up. Mentally, this person is fucked up, like from like trauma and stuff like that. That can be embarrassing for a person. Like, it's some ways that I feel like I'm most definitely screwed up in the head, right? Which we all are. Don't you throw your fucking stone at me, you goddamn hypocrite. But like I say, we all messed up, I'm sure, right? Some more than others. Some more than others, I ain't gonna lie. But, hey, we all got something. It's something with everybody. So, you sit down, open up to a person, and then they throw that shit back in your face. You know what I'm saying? Like, bitch, I told you about my size. Bitch, you gonna call me pencil dick online. Like, huh? What? That's crazy talk, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Like, or whatever. Goddamn it, I got 3 nipples or whatever. I told you that's my baby nipple or whatever. I don't know, just some crazy shit. People, and oftentimes, I think is, some of them things that people, you try to mask that kind of stuff, certain stuff about yourself, I guess, that's what people do. But anyway, all that to say, that's the thing, like men being vulnerable. And so, and like opening up because you don't want it to be used against you amongst the homies, like I say, right? I know homies. I've had homies over the years that, you can't really be vulnerable with them because they joke about every fucking thing. Everything is a fucking joke. Everything is funny to them, right? So if you trying to have a serious moment, they don't know when to turn it off, right? They don't know, they don't have an off switch on a lot of their childish ways, right? So they ain't got no off switch. So if you try to have a heart to heart with them ain't the best people. Them ain't the best people that you'll have a heart to heart with. So in terms of like why men, and then sometimes in them situations, men gonna have to get down behind each other. As men, we gonna have to get down sometimes. If it's a big disagreement, that shit can go left and that shit can go left. You know what I'm saying? Because we gonna have to throw hands. Most time with a woman, you don't expect just a man to be throwing paws with a fucking woman like that. You know what I mean? That ain't the business that we in. That ain't what we doing. You know what I'm saying? That ain't what we trying to do for sure. So, women gonna say something hurtful, whatever, that's that. But, as far as men, shit, you ruffle up a couple feathers with men, with the bros, so you better be ready to, in some scenarios, you better be ready to get down, depending on what it is. So, that can mean injury. That can mean like death or whatever. Just, and that might be a little extreme for some, but, you got to think about that possibility. So that's I think all of those are like reasons why men tend to try to avoid or could possibly avoid vulnerability, being vulnerable with this ain't really about women, but just being vulnerable, opening up with some of the bros. You know what I mean? So it leads me to ask the question, do you think that my initial question for this for doing the podcast this morning was, do you think Xbox, do you think men should tell they woman everything? I want to know what y'all think about that. Do you think men should tell they woman everything? If such a person exists, right? Other than God, right? Because that's the first thing I think about. That's the first thing we probably think about. Oh, you can talk to God about anything. But let's keep it a bean. God ain't talking to you back. And if God talking to you back, you know what he's saying? The shit that's in your mind, for the most part. God ain't coming down out of the fucking sky for some of you, for some of y'all, right? Walking through the door. You ain't gonna send up no text message. You ain't got Jesus in your motherfucking phone. Like, where you gonna send this boy a text message. You ain't finna Facebook Live call him, Instagram call him, or Snapchat. Hit him up on Snapchat, right? Say, G.O.D., what's happening, my boy? Yeah, man. It's been crazy out here in these streets. So, really, I'm really psychologically fucked up. Psychologically and mentally fucked up. And I think that shit stemmed from the yeah. But, whoop, trying to figure this out. Or like, shit, I'm coming to vent. Like, yeah, you be talking to yourself, but I mean, sometimes you want feedback. And let's keep it a bean, You can talk to God, you can pray, you can do all that stuff, but the only voice that you're going to hear is the voices in your head. So, I mean, if you label that as God, Jesus, Mr. Universe, whatever, however you get down, I mean, that's that. But, sometimes we want some real deal, somebody in the room or somebody over the phone on the other line of the phone or somebody that we can see and feel or whatever, and hear it in their voice and their tone, and stuff like that, right? And maybe God sends that person. You can look at it from that perspective. But my thing is, do you feel like a man should be able to tell his woman everything? Or when he got certain things that, that may be bothering him or plaguing him? Because it can be certain things that plague him and bother him to have him act different, that got him acting different. Like, it can be on a good stretch, and then next thing you know, shit, for about 2-3 days, he been in a funk. Like, what's going on? I don't really want to talk about it. What's going on? And everybody's going to do that, right? You ever went to Facebook and like posted like some of your deeper thoughts or like somehow you really was feeling? I'm going to tell them how I really feel. Let them know, right? Like, so I'm on Facebook. I'm going to go here. I'm going to say this. Shit, I just said this shit. I ain't gonna lie, I was in my feelings. This how I was feeling. Boom, I said it. Get on Facebook and say you feel alone, like you ain't got nobody to talk to. Watch how many people get in your comment section. I love you. I love you, cuzzo. I love you, family. I love you, friend. I love you, buddy. I love you. Like, I love you. Call me. Check your messages. Everybody. And it's an open door policy over here. I just want everybody to know that from me. From me. If you listen to this podcast, even if I don't fucking know you, you probably can call me 9 times out of 10. Try not to be as weird as shit. Because it's a level of weirdness that I can deal with, I think. But it's an open door policy. You call me, you could be a random person and say, hey man, I ain't gonna lie, man or female, I heard your podcast, and so I just wanted to reach out to you, bro. You know, probably got to reach out to me through social media first or something like that, maybe. Hopefully I see it, because sometimes I don't get the messages in terms of like, I just don't get them because they got to be accepted to be visual or something, if you get what I'm saying. Like in some of the messages. I miss so many DJ gigs like that because they be a random stranger that just reached out to me some kind of way and I couldn't get the notification. And then when I checked the notification, it had been a year later. It's crazy. So, dollars left on the table there. But, like I say, open door policy. You know, you just say, hey man, look, listen to your podcast, da-da-da-da. Heard that one podcast that you did, said it was open door policy. I just got some shit I want to run with you. See your perspective on it. See what you think about it. Shit. If I got time, shit. Complete stranger. Don't matter. Hold on. Can I call you back? 3, 4, 5, 10, 45? I'm gonna try to get. I probably try to appease that person in some shape, fashion, or form, though, for sure. Like, I got 15 minutes right now. I'm just let you know, bro. Like, what you got? Shoot. You know what I'm saying? Shit, let me give you my number. Shit, just text me. Is it something that can be texted? You know. But if I'm available and I got the time, I try to hear somebody out for sure. Because you never know, right? You never know how serious that can be with somebody, for somebody. You never know. And obviously, right, I feel like, you know, people like that, you gotta manage that. You gotta manage that. That's like a skill or a talent, right? Or something like that. You gotta manage it. You can't just let everybody every day throughout the course of the day just give you you know, man, this is what I'm going through. They problems. Like, you just can't be taking all that shit, right? Because at some point, it becomes draining, right? It'll become draining. It will. It'll become draining. You being the person that people constantly pour into. You fill up and you gotta dip out. You fill up and you gotta dump that shit out. You gotta let go. You gotta, oh man, fuck, you know, deep breath. I gotta get some me time, or I gotta, you know, whatever the word is for that. I forgot the word we used to use. But you know, you can't just constantly be that person that everybody pour into. You ain't got nobody to pour into when you need to talk, or, you know, you ain't got no outlet, right? So, but yeah, I do want to know. I ain't gonna try to drag the podcast on for that much longer. I want to know, what do y'all think? Do y'all think a man should be able to be vulnerable and tell his woman everything? And why do I ask that? I think one of the reasons I ask a question like that, or I pose a question like that, is because ultimately we dealing with people, right? So people are imperfect. Like, people ain't Like, I don't think it's no person that you gonna be able to sit up there and tell everything to, and without it affecting the way they view you and the relationship in its totality, right? Some shape, fashion, or form is going to affect something about y'all relationship, I believe. That's what I think. Depending on what you telling that person, and what how much you let that person in on, I guess. So I guess in a way that's kind of my answer and the reason for my answer. But I would like to hear y'all's, because I'm not like, oh shit, if you don't agree with me, yeah, what the fuck you listening for? You don't got to say nothing to me if you don't agree. Like, different opinions most definitely welcome. You know what I mean? So, just, that's the question. Do y'all feel like men should be able to tell they woman everything? I was listening to a Kevin Samuels video one day, and he was like, he mentioned like the only woman that a man can tell everything to is his mama. And I'm gonna tell you like this, I wouldn't tell my mama everything. And you got to think about it in a crazy way, right? Do you think your parents tell you everything? And that ain't the dynamic of the relationship, right? I don't think it is. Like, I don't think you don't got to know everything about your parents, right? But say you grow up, you get older, and you have a sit down. I think, and by this definition, I think everybody dies with secrets. Who dies with more secrets? That ain't even something I think I even really want to debate and get into and talk about. But I don't know. But I think for me, I think I'm a very, very truthful person at heart at the end of the day. So I want to live my truth. I've always that's kind of like a mantra and a creed that I've kind of, taken up on myself. Like, I get it, like treat people how you want to be treated, right? So if I'm a person who wants to live by my truth and be accepted, like, for people to know, like, hey, I'm not all good. I'm not all bad. I'm not perfect in XYZ sense. I'm not perfect in QRS sense or whatever. It's just, I do good things. I do bad things. I have good thoughts and light thoughts that, come from the light, I guess. And, I have dark thoughts sometimes. You know what I mean? I can be happy. I can be sad. I can be depressed. I can be stressed. I can be, the opposite of that, right? I can be selfish. I can be selfless. That's the truth. And I probably didn't say this shit before on one of these episodes. Like, it's one of them things. I feel like I can be all things, low key. That's the crazy part about it. I can be whatever, just about damn near whatever a situation calls for, right? If I'm dealing with an individual who needs sympathy and compassion and, patience, I can be that. If it calls me to display anger, things of that nature. I can be that. So, I digress. That's the question. Once again, do y'all think y'all should be able to be in a relationship, I can say, and be vulnerable and tell your person, or anybody for that matter, everything? Do you think it's a relationship that exists where you can tell a person everything? And shit, what is that relationship? Is that a friend? Is that God? Is that your spouse? So do y'all think men should be able to tell they woman everything? I'll just keep it at that. Yes or no? Peace. Thank y'all for tuning in. See y'all next time.